If you're between 45 and 60, the median retirement balance in America right now is about $185,000. That's it. Half of people have less than that, according to the Federal Reserve. At a conservative 4% withdrawal rate, that produces roughly $7,400 a year, about $620 a month, just over $20 a day. That's groceries. Not housing, not medical bills, just groceries. Some of you watching are ahead of that number, some are quietly below it, and most people don't actually know which side they're on. The numbers come from the Survey of Consumer Finances, published by the Federal Reserve. And we're using the median, not the mean. The mean gets inflated by very high earners with multi-million-dollar portfolios. The median shows the true midpoint, half above, half below. It's the clearer picture. Here's how retirement savings break down by age. Ages 25 to 34, about $18,800. Ages 35 to 44, around $45,000. Ages 45 to 54, roughly $115,000. Ages 55 to 64, approximately $185,000. Now let's translate that into income potential using a 4% guideline. $18,800 produces about $752 per year. That's around $63 per month. $45,000 produces about $1,800 per year, about $150 per month. $115,000 produces roughly $4,600 annually, around $383 per month. And $185,000 produces that $7,400 annually, or roughly $620 monthly. That's before taxes. Most retirees also rely on Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, the average monthly benefit in 2024 is about $1,900. Combine the two, and a typical near retiree might be looking at roughly $2,500 per month in total income. Now, compare that with spending. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that households between 65 and 74 spend about $4,300 per month on average. There's a gap. One more important detail. According to Federal Reserve data, roughly a third of households approaching retirement still carry mortgage debt. A generation ago, that was far less common. This isn't about people being reckless. The structure of retirement shifted over time. In 1980, a large share of private sector workers had defined benefit pensions. Today, most rely on defined contribution plans like 401s, quickies. With a pension, the employer absorbed investment risk and longevity risk. With a 401k, the responsibility moved to the individual. That means your retirement outcome now depends on contribution rate, market timing, asset allocation, and consistency. If you miss 10 prime earning years, the compounding window shrinks permanently. Retirement rules changed quietly over time. Most people simply kept working the way they always had. Over the past few decades, housing and equity markets in many areas compounded faster than median wages. If your income grows 3% annually, but major asset categories grow 5% or 6%, the target keeps moving away from you. Even someone saving steadily can feel their margin tightening. So while you were contributing responsibly, the required finish line may have been drifting upward. Automatic enrollment in retirement plans wasn't widespread until the mid-2000s. That means millions of workers lost early compounding years simply because they weren't opted in. Starting at 40 instead of 30 removes an entire decade of exponential growth. That doesn't mean someone lacked discipline. It means compounding didn't get enough time to work. Careers also look different now. Contract roles, career pivots, gig work, employment gaps. The modern system assumes steady, uninterrupted contributions. The math nobody shows you. Let's talk about the 25 times rule. You take your expected annual retirement spending and multiply it by 25. That gives you a rough portfolio target based on a 4% withdrawal framework. If you want $60,000 per year in retirement income, $60,000 multiplied by 25 equals $1.5 million. It's a large number, but it gives you clarity. Now assume a conservative long-term return of 6.5% annually. Not guaranteed, just an assumption for modeling. If you start at age 30 and invest for 35 years, you'd need to contribute roughly $1,050 per month to reach $1.5 million. But starting 10 years later means you're compressing the same goal into far fewer contributions. That's the visible math. A portfolio compounding at 7% inside a tax-deferred account grows very differently from one losing 1% annually to taxes in a taxable account. Over 30 years, that 1% annual drag can reduce a six-figure portfolio by well over $100,000 compared to tax-sheltered growth. Return help. But how your money is structured often ends up deciding the outcome. A real example. Let's look at someone typical. Marcus is 52. He works as an operations supervisor and earns $68,400 per year. After taxes and health insurance, he brings home about $4,250 per month. Here's where it goes. Mortgage, $1,620. Utilities, $310. Groceries, $640. Car payment, $410. Gas and insurance, $280. Cell phone and internet, $190. Helping his daughter with rent, $400. Miscellaneous expenses and small subscriptions, $260. That totals $4,110. He has around $140 left most months. Marcus has about $132,000 in his 401k. Last July, his HVAC system failed during a heat wave. The replacement cost was $8,700. He financed it at 8.9%. It didn't destroy him financially, but it narrowed his options immediately. If Marcus had increased his 401k contribution from 5% to 8% at age 35, just a 3-point difference, and earned a long-term average near 6.5%, he would likely be sitting on substantially more today. Small percentage adjustments in your 30s can translate into six-figure differences later. Marcus isn't reckless. His situation looks like millions of others. 3 levers that actually move the needle. 3 levers matter more than most people realize. By age 30, aim for a total retirement contribution of about 15% of income, including any employer match. Set it automatically. A steady percentage early usually does more than trying to overcorrect later. If you're behind in your 40s, increase contributions by 1% every 6 months, instead of attempting one drastic jump. That incremental escalation is easier to sustain, and once eligible, use catch-up contribution limits strategically. Volatility shielding, 50s and beyond. About 5 years before retirement, begin gradually adjusting asset allocation to reduce exposure to severe short-term swings. Not to eliminate growth, to protect early withdrawals from sequence risk. Also consider the timing of Social Security. According to the Social Security Administration, benefits increase roughly 8% per year for each year you delay past full retirement age up to age 70. That adjustment is built into the system and can meaningfully change lifetime income. That median balance we started with isn't a sentence handed down. It's simply where many households happen to stand right now. And positions change. If someone in your life assumes most people are comfortably prepared, share this with them so the conversation starts with real numbers instead of assumptions.